Can missing your goals actually be good for you? Of course, we all want to hit our goals. That's why we set them in the first place. And setting goals and trying to achieve them is kind of just in our nature. But what if hitting all of your goals isn't actually good for you? And that if you are achieving every goal that you set, that you're not only missing out on certain opportunities, but in fact, you can achieve more by not hitting your goals. Well, before we talk about why you don't want to hit all your goals, let's take a moment to examine, why do we set goals in the first place? There are probably an infinite number of reasons as to why we should do goal setting and the benefits of doing that. And here are a few that I think that really come to mind for a lot of us. Number one, when we set a goal, we get singularly focused. We know exactly where it is that we want to go. And then number two, we have a path to get there. Once you figure out where you want to go, it's all about, okay, what steps can I take right now to move me closer to achieving that outcome? And as we're making that progress, we can then, number three, measure the progress. Are we getting closer or further away? Which goes to number four, which is feedback. And as we're getting feedback, we actually learn, which is number five. And number six, we also grow. So we get clear on where we want to go. That's the singular focus. We know the path to get there. We can measure our progress, which gives us feedback, which allows us to learn and grow. So there's lots of benefits to doing goal setting. And I want to talk about why when we hit all of our goals, we actually miss out on some of these key components as to why we do goal setting in the first place. So let's take a look now at 5 reasons why not hitting your goals can actually be a good thing. I've been in the field of personal growth and development for almost 30 years now as a speaker, trainer, and a coach. And one of the reasons that people coach with me, and to be honest, why they coach with anyone, is because they want to improve and accelerate their results. Whether you're a coach or a coach leader, it's really about increasing and accelerating the results of the people that you're working with. I remember working with a client recently, and the reason he hired me was he was feeling frustrated that he's not hitting all of his goals and he wants to get better at goal achievement. And whenever someone says that they're not hitting all of their goals, I usually celebrate and say, congratulations, that's a good thing. And of course, whenever I say that, they look at me a little funny and say, why? I want to achieve all my goals. But then I usually ask them, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What would it mean if you're hitting every goal that you set? And without fail, everyone always says, well, that would mean that I'm setting my goals too low. So if you're hitting all of your goals, chances are you're setting your goals too low. So that leads us to the first reason why not hitting your goals is actually a good thing for you. Number one is that it's not big enough. If you're hitting every goal that you set, then the goals that you're setting are not challenging enough. They're too easy, and you're leaving more on the table, which we'll come back to a little bit later on in the video. Number two is a lack of fulfillment. If we set goals that are completely attainable, there's little satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment that comes from their achievement. That's why you don't play competitive tic-tac-toe with 2-year-olds. I mean, you can dominate, you can win every time, but there's no fulfillment in doing so. We want to pick goals that are going to be challenging enough that they actually mean something when you achieve them. The third reason as to why not hitting your goals can actually be beneficial for you is that it's actually more fun. Now, at this point, you might be saying, whoa, wait a minute. That's not true. It's way more fun to achieve your goals than to not achieve your goals. And I would agree with you. It is definitely way more fun to achieve your goals, but it's the risk of not achieving the goals that actually makes it more fun. When you watch a good movie or read a good book, there's a mystery there about how it's all going to work out. And that's what makes it fun. That's why you don't fast forward to the end of the movie to see the ending, or you don't go to the last chapter and read the answer, because it's really about how do they get there? That's the journey. Well, of course, we want certainty in life, but there's also value in uncertainty and variety, and that's what actually makes it quite enjoyable. There's this great thought experiment by English philosopher Alan Watts, where he says, imagine that you go to sleep and you dream. And in this dream, you can do anything that you want. And it's perfect. If you jump, you always land on your feet. You never get hurt. So you can climb the tallest mountain. You can fly. You can swim underwater. You can start a business. You can have a family. You can fulfill any dream you want. And this continues on. This dream continues for the experience of around 70 years. An entire lifetime in one night. And then you wake up the next day. And then the next night you have the same dream, and it's amazing, it's successful, and there's no risk at all. So you can do everything with ease and no worry. And then the next night, the same thing, 70 years, 70 years. And it goes on until finally it kind of gets a little bit boring. And you say, man, there's got to be something more fun because everything I do, it's not really a challenge. I know it's always going to work out. So we add some risk. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And it adds a certain thrill to it. Now there's stakes. There's something to lose. And that makes it much more interesting, much more meaningful, and of course, much more fun. The number 4 reason why missing our goals can be beneficial is there's less learning. When we struggle, when we don't achieve our goal, we get something that is often more important than the goal achievement, which is education. We learn. We learn what worked, and more importantly, we learn what didn't work. And that's an earned wisdom, not theoretical, not borrowed from someone else that we read in a book or learn in a class. It's earned wisdom, and it makes you better, and no one else can ever take that away from you. If you achieve a goal by luck alone, and you haven't earned it through wisdom and trial and error and the experience that you get, the luck is great, sure, we'll take it. But that's not really a repeatable strategy. It's not a strategy you can use time and time again. What gives us luck is the preparation, the opportunity plus all the preparation that gets us ready to handle and prosper in that moment. And the 5th reason why missing your goals can actually be beneficial for you is perhaps the most important, and that is achieving more. Yes, you heard me right. I'm suggesting that by not hitting your goals, you're actually going to achieve more. And hear me out. That's because when we set goals, we often set them around our comfort zone. Let's do a thought experiment to really drive this point home. Let's imagine that I ask you to pick a number as to how many push-ups you could do right now. Okay, got a number? All right, let's say for argument's purpose that you choose 10. So whatever number you chose, whether it's 10 or some other number, why did you choose that? Well, your unconscious mind most likely went through a bunch of factors in the past and the present and came up with some prediction about how many you'd actually be able to do. And it came from the past, which is fine. It gives us a realistic idea of what we can actually do. But if we do that, if we choose what we're capable of based on the past, then our future is always limited based on what we've done in the past. But what if instead of looking at the past, we just picked a number that was bigger than what we thought possible? Let's say 50. If you imagine, okay, now I'm going to set my goal not to do 10, which I probably think I can do. Let's set it to 50. Now everything changes. You know that it's going to take a whole different amount of energy. You're going to have to be focused. You're going to have to be really committed to making this happen. And because you show up that way, you're showing up differently for 50 than you would for 10. Now, you may not hit the number 50, but chances are you're going to do way more than you would have had your goal simply been to 10. And that's why missing our goals can be beneficial, because you're capturing all of that potential that you would have lost had you set your goals lower. So by looking at our percentages of win-losses in life, it kind of becomes a bit of a measuring device. If I'm hitting every goal, I might be too close to the target. If I'm missing every shot, then I'm probably too far away from the target as well. So pay attention to your goals and start setting unrealistic targets and watch your results improve. That's it for this one. If you're not opposed to it, hit subscribe to stay connected and ring the notification bell to join the conversation. Until next time, develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.